Adam saw her falling into the water and immediately in the distance. With great difficulty, they managed to reach the effect of snake venom. Without wasting time, preparing to pounce. Rachel grabbed and deserted for years. Yet, for now, it was their only house. Outside, the leopard's growls echoed. For hours, she wandered aimlessly. Rachel first, then carefully placed the injured Adam on a young American girl. Rachel, who had set out on a cruise trip, was spending the best moments of her life. The ship was cutting through the blue sea in a calm journey. But suddenly the clouds began to darken and a terrifying rumble echoed across the sky. Then suddenly, a massive tsunami shook the ship. Towering waves, like walls of water, began crashing from all sides. Several parts of the ship broke apart, and people began screaming. Rachel, too, was thrown off by a jolt and fell into the water. At that very moment, a young boy on the ship, Adam, saw her falling into the water and immediately jumped in after her. They drifted at the mercy of the stormy waves. For several minutes, they struggled desperately, moving their arms and legs just to keep themselves alive. Suddenly, they spotted an old wooden boat in the distance. With great difficulty, they managed to reach it and climbed aboard. The boat drifted with the waves until it finally stopped near the shore. The shore lay at the edge of a dense jungle. Exhausted, both of them lay down on the shore. Their bodies were trembling, and their breathing was uneven. After a while, they decided that once they had rested, they would venture into the jungle to find shelter. But they had no idea that the real trial was yet to come. After resting for a few hours, Rachel and Adam began moving toward the jungle. The trees were so dense that sunlight barely reached the ground. Strange and eerie sounds echoed all around. Sometimes the shriek of a bird, sometimes the rustle of leaves. The path was difficult, but the two kept supporting each other as they walked. After a while, suddenly, a venomous snake darted out of the bushes and sank its fangs into Adam's arm. Searching quickly through the jungle, she found a plant she remembered reading about, one that could help reduce the effect of snake venom. Without wasting time, Rachel chewed its leaves and applied them to Adam's wound, then tore a piece of her clothing to make a bandage. Adam's condition began to stabilize, though he was still weak. Rachel helped him up, supporting his weight as they stumbled forward. After some distance, they spotted an old, abandoned house. Its broken doors and collapsed roof showed it had been deserted for years. Yet, for now, it was their only refuge. Rachel and Adam pushed open the door and stepped inside. The house was in a poor state. Moss clung to the walls, and the floor was broken in several places. Yet, for two weary travelers, it felt like a blessing. They gathered dry grass and bits of wood in a corner and managed to start a small fire, giving them both warmth and light. After a while, Rachel discovered an old wooden cabinet in what looked like the kitchen area. To her surprise, inside were a few containers filled with dried fruits and canned food, perhaps left behind long ago by another traveler. The night outside was dark and eerily silent, broken only by the distant roars of wild animals in the jungle. As she sat by the flickering fire, her eyes wandered over the old, broken furniture, and she realized this abandoned house might play a crucial role in their survival. They decided it was time to search for a safer place. But the moment they stepped outside, they found themselves face to face with the most dangerous beast in the jungle. The moment they stepped outside the house, a large and powerful leopard stood before them. Its eyes glowed red, and it crouched low, preparing to pounce. Rachel grabbed a nearby wooden stick and struck the beast with all her strength. The animal recoiled for a brief moment, giving Adam a chance to stagger back inside the house. Adam was on the verge of losing consciousness. Rachel quickly tightened the bandage again to stop the bleeding. Despite her fear, Rachel refused to give up. She made a decision. If they were to survive, they would have to find a way to call for help. One thought burned in her mind. Perhaps, someday, a rescue team might reach them. All through the night, they remained hidden inside the abandoned house. Outside, the leopard's growls echoed, sometimes close, sometimes far away. Adam's condition grew worse with every passing hour. Summoning her courage, Rachel tore more strips from her clothing to keep his wound under control. By morning, Rachel made a brave decision. She would venture into the jungle alone to search for help. Leaving Adam inside, she pushed through the dense trees. For hours, she wandered aimlessly until she stumbled upon a broken radio transmitter, likely the remains of some old campsite. Rachel picked it up and, with great difficulty, tried to repair it. At last, she managed to send out a weak signal. The transmission was faint, but perhaps just strong enough for someone far away to catch it. Exhausted, Rachel returned to the house and sat beside Adam, silently praying that someone, somewhere, might come to find them. By midday the next day, the sound of a helicopter thundered across the sky. Rachel rushed outside and, to her astonishment, saw a rescue helicopter hovering above. She immediately waved her clothing frantically to signal for help. Moments later, members of the rescue team descended by rope. They secured Rachel first, then carefully placed the injured Adam on a stretcher and lifted him toward the helicopter. Tears of joy filled both their eyes. At last, their prayers had been answered. The helicopter slowly rose into the sky. Below lay the same jungle that had trapped them for days in fear and suffering. Rachel held Adam's hand tightly. He was weak, yet a faint smile rested on his face. The rescue team gave them warm clothes and food, while a doctor immediately began treating Adam's wounds. Rachel gazed out of the window, and the moment etched itself into her memory forever. A jungle that had been both a messenger of death and a teacher of life's true value. Rachel and Adam knew they would never be the same again. This ordeal had changed the course of their lives. A new friendship, a new beginning, and a newfound understanding of what truly matters in life.